establish this is your point of entry, so you have whatever form of gate you have, yeah, entrance or whatever, design it as well. So probably based on now this sketch I did here for the bubble diagram, I want to see if I can copy it. Anyway, I'll just try and do it from memory. So based on this, you may have now to come and sort of develop a regular shape. So you may start talking of having your entry point at that point. And let me see what I did. A lounge. So that's my entry point, that's my lounge, that's my dining, that's my kitchen. So this is not really accurate. I'm just trying to come up with how to develop here. So you may now start to form regular patterns, yeah? And you may combine different shapes.
Imefall tena.
Stima imepotea.
Token zimedai.
Token, man. I said till number 2,
You
man.
may even have some taking angular elements.
Excuse me, we lost you for like 3 minutes.
Okay, I was just sketching. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's connecting. The app has died on me as well. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is you use this already established bubble diagram and try and come up with regular shapes. Yeah. Yes, I think we're back. So you try and establish where your openings are, where you probably have windows. Yeah, you may choose to have different shapes coming together. So you're doing away with these bubbles, yeah, and giving definitive function. And also we start seeing wall thicknesses, we start seeing openings. You may have openings there. Yeah, if it lands there, I don't want to create a dead space. So the main aim of this exercise 1 is to establish building components, yeah. What I mean, we start seeing openings in terms of windows and doors. We start seeing stairwells and ramps. We start seeing some finishes to denote what's inside, what's outside. So if I was doing this design, I'd cut it there, introduce that there, then use this space to sort of create some outdoor facility there. So this is your outdoor space there. Then link it directly to what we have here. We had that doing that. So the main aim is now to do away with these circles, yeah, to do away with the bubbles and to create functional space. If I was to use that word, functional space. All right. So where was my pen? Black. So you may even define it as that. Have it done that. So have this as an entrance. The entrance you may create sort of a glass wall there, or use a shelf. Have this as a living room where the window opens there to see more of the sides, or even you can have this as a wall, put TV there. The window opens there. Have a lounge, a sectional lounge that does that. Okay, create a small dining room nook here. Link it to a kitchen, so we may have a kitchen around there. Give the kitchen the function that makes it a kitchen with this. Or you see, I'm trying to have the openings on this side. Trying to put the openings on this side so that they take in the view of the basin below. Yeah. So on this side where we had the office, you may now even project it at this point here. Then you make this into a studio. Then you step it down here and make this into an office. Yeah. Then you may have the kitchen space here. You can even have this as the dining, sorry. Then you push the kitchen to this edge. Then the dining, yeah, the lounge can be the circular space. This can be the dining. Then it leads to an outdoor area here. That it can even become a boardwalk to take in the views. Okay, so all this is open to the views outside. And that's how you design, guys. Okay, so the next step after the outline design, I hope you can still see me. You can still see, sorry, the screen, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so the next step now after the outline design is to come up with a scheme.
I have a question.
Yeah, ask.
On the bubble diagram, like, how do you present first floor, like the upper floor?
If this is a bubble diagram, then the upper floor will just use the reference of where your vertical circulation is. I don't need to see the site because we are not seeing the site on first floor. So you just use let's see if I can put erasing that one. So maybe we're doing a bubble floor, bubble, yeah. And this is where we had the vertical circulation, the staircase. So on the first floor, the bubble diagram, probably you land somewhere there. What facility do you want to put on the first floor?
The sleeping areas.
Sleeping areas. So how many rooms are we talking about?
3 rooms.
3, yeah. So maybe you land, if this is your vertical circulation there, maybe you may have a master bedroom there. Then next to the master, you may have a study or a family room, yeah, where guys can watch TV. Then next on this other side, you may have the kids' bedrooms. Okay, then probably they're each serviced on that end, each serviced on that end. So this is where we have the bath. This is where we have the bath. So maybe you would want it such that once they land on the first floor, the movement is probably there. Yeah, so this one each is attached to that point. And maybe to make it more contextual, you may even talk of this space being open, yeah, to whatever function is down there. So if this is the staircase or vertical circulation, that's all we need to see on the first floor, because on the first floor we don't see the ground floor. Okay, you may even create a viewing point that spans that whole area. Yeah, make it into a boardwalk. Have I answered your question, Arnold?
Yes,
Oh,
I have
okay.
understood that part.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
Yes, I have a question. Sasa,
Ask.
because I have seen we have worked from the perspective of the creating like the circles, and once we create the circles, then we now create the outline, and then now we have from the functional relationships all the way to the outline. So in the case of we've already designed our houses, so are we going to work backwards, whereby we use the outline and fit it into the functional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the design process. This is how you move in design. Yeah. you don't skip one point. You find that once you skip a point, and I'm so sure for even those who have finished products, once you skip this point, you'll find that there are many questions that maybe towards the end I ask you, so how does this function? Why do you have this there? And if you don't follow through this process, you find you don't have answers to such questions. Okay, so this is to help you develop answers to these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, so work backwards. If you already had a finished product, you need to work backwards. Okay.
Okay.
So once you get to the outline design, yeah, so it's still not too clear. Okay, it's still a bit sketchy per se, but still on site. Yeah. So now you take it to the next step, which is the scheme design. Okay, so now in scheme design, you find that this is now where we want scaled drawings. You're gonna get a scaled drawing, okay, with wall thicknesses, with openings defined, material shown, construction tech as well. Right, so this is more definitive. It even has the furniture layouts, it has the sanitary fittings. You can go a step further and also give us finishes. Okay, so that's what we anticipate in scheme design. So in scheme design, what we want to see is, if for instance I'm trying to give this more architectural communication, architectural graphics. So in scheme design, we want to see if this is your, again, always on site, yeah, so that you don't forget where it is you're designing from. Okay, so still on site, this is now where I want you to give me definitive, if that's the entry point, if you're using concrete columns, if you're using masonry block at some point, if you have just RC. Oh gosh, my stylus is not giving me. All right, if it's door openings, what type of doors do you have? Are they hung? Are you using sliding doors? Are they sliding in against each other or sliding into a cavity in the wall? Okay, so those are the details I want to see. All right, in the scheme design. But even before we go to scheme design, can you finish up the outline design? Because at scheme design now, you see in outline, you've already even established sort of a plan layout, and you sketched a few elevation views. Okay, so you've given us your building, yeah, assuming this boundary. Maybe I can put the elevation viewpoint there, the elevation viewpoint there, the elevation viewpoint there, and also maybe at this point, if I'm going to appreciate much, maybe at that point, yeah, the elevation viewpoint there. Now in scheme design, now this one is more detailed, where you give us an actual 4 number elevations, 2 number sections, and what is this, and floor plans and a site plan. So what I want us to do this week, between now and Monday, yeah, these are 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 days. I want you to clean up your concept and take it through the functional relationship, bubble diagrams, and an outline design. so that now come Monday, we start working on working drawings, because the scheme design essentially is a working drawing. Okay. Do you have any questions? That's fine. Any questions? Is it understood? Eric, maybe you can please give us a bit of input on the same. Eric, am I still? Yeah, I'm still connected. Okay, guys, any questions? I have a bit of juice left on my device. Please, can you ask any questions?
Maybe I have a question, but not entirely on this. There's this you've said on the work that you had submitted. What are these site responses we were supposed to?
A site response is, for instance, and actually the only response I saw is the one I gave an example. Give, for instance, you've been told, let me just share this Jamboard again. Give, for instance, I've asked you to respond to temperature being, temperature being at a given degree or level, yeah? So what is the architectural response to that given temperature? Does that mean now you have to look at something we call thermal mass of the different building materials? Okay. Does that mean if it's a high temperature region, you need to consider how you're going to either keep the spaces cool during the day and warm during the cool nights? Okay. If it's a response to rainfall, then I want you to tell me, what are you going to do with regards the rainfall received in that area? Are you going to have pitched roofs so that you can collect this rainfall and take it? Okay, I should have done it the other way around. Let me just erase. So are you going to, give me a pitched roof, yeah? So as I can collect this rainfall, feed it into an underground. Yeah? Take it down and feed it into an underground storage tank that waters the lawn during the hot days, yeah? So now this one is connected to a motor and it gives the sprinkling. All right? If it's something to do with the sun path, for instance, yeah, and most of you are drawing the sun path, you just copy paste from the internet, and those ones are regions that experience different sun daylighting, different length of days, and as guys are in the equator, we don't experience that type of sun sort of phenomena within our region. If it's the sun path, for instance, yeah, if this is our site and the north is where I've been drawing it wrong, that's my assumption, that's the north. So if that's the north, then of course our sun moves from east to west kind of axis, isn't it? So actually it should have been more of this east to west axis. So either way, okay? So once you have this sun path, what does that mean in relation to this axis? Will that mean that on your site you're going to orient your buildings or openings along this? Does that mean that you're now going to come and put my openings, if that's my building, these are my openings there, will I orient my openings along the east-west axis or the north-south axis, such that if I was to now come and do a section of this same house, I'd give something like that with the openings there, and decide, am I going to develop some sun shading devices such that once the sun hits, I'm shaded from it, or do I want to maximize on maximum sunlight coming from? Yeah, so if that's my sun there, yeah, So is my response based on how much I can take into the space, given that this height is x and it can only go a distance of 2x. So this is what I want to see. Most of you just gave me this. Most of you gave us this to look at, but there was no, actually you are doing this sun path, but that's not the kind of sun phenomena we experience at the equator. So nilisema ukicopy paste una rationalize kidogo, not blindly following sheep to the slaughterhouse. Okay, so that's just temperature. If I'm talking about something like the vegetation or the infrastructure on site, yeah. So if it's, for instance, the infrastructure on site, we had the wind turbines, yeah, that look like something like this, and they're circulating. All right. So what is your response to these wind turbines? Is it to come up with forms that you know, you sort of want to abstract from these forms, from these forms, such that even your walls take up something like this? Okay, as they try to respond to what is on site infrastructure wise, yeah, to borrow from that abstract concept wise, if it's infrastructure wise, to see how you can even borrow from this technology and bring it to your site. Okay, if it's services like water, we had I think I remember some Kimani, yeah, some Kimani saying up here where we had the restaurant, there was a line, a water supply point. So what is your response? Are you going to bring this water supply into your site? Are you going to borrow this water from your neighbor into your site such that it fits into what you need? Or are you going to do rain harvesting, like I highlighted in this first bit here, for collecting water to feed into your site or for cleaning services? Okay, have I answered your question, Trey? These are the responses I wanted to see. If it's electricity,
Yes.
if it's
However, there is.
What?
Yes, you have answered it. So just to clarify, we are supposed to now look at the site based on what we went there and saw, and then it's some semblance of a list of all the issues and how we resolve them.
Precisely, but all you guys did was document what you saw on site. You did not give a response.
Oh, okay. The responses are to be written and graphical, I believe, with graphical support, right?
Graphical with just title.
Oh, okay.
I need you guys to learn how the art of being graphical. Yeah, even when you give a solution. Okay. Since we have, this is a visual discipline, it's a visual trade. All right. Any other questions? Any questions, guys? Comments? We have about 3 weeks left. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 weeks left. Those are 6 classes. So I need to finish this by week 3, by the 6th class. Okay?
Would you like at least list for us or highlight what you want specifically?
But you have the brief. Our power is back here. Who is that? Is it Kache or who requested that?
Yes.
What list? What do you mean by what list? You already have the brief. The brief gives everything I need by the 29th of April. So let me just share the Jamboard link. So on the chat, I've just shared the link to that whiteboard I was using, and you can use it for your reference. Yeah. What do you, I don't, please elaborate. What do you mean what I need? Hey, Kache.
Yes?
You asked for
Like you just highlight what
requirements.
is to be done.
What did you mean by that?
Like so far, see, you asked for us to submit the bubble diagrams and the concept design. Now, this one, which is outline, for me, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to like do.
You're supposed to now, if you have the bubble diagrams and you're confident in that, then take those bubble diagrams and make them into an outline of an architectural plan. By outline, I mean, I really don't expect you to show me thicknesses of walls. You just you're trying to make the spaces more regular. By regular, I don't mean, grid. A circle is also a regular shape, yeah? So you're just trying to regularize that plan so that it reads as a plan, okay? But in this scenario, you're just using maybe lines and maybe puncturing spaces into the line to show that there is an opening there. You can try and sketch out doors and all that, yeah? You can even give me a few furniture layouts.
Oh, okay.
You understand? Kama
Yes.
umefanya, I've been so easy on you. Then if you've done that, then let's go to scheme design.
No, not yet.
No, I've realized 5 days is such a long time. So Eric, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, so can you give us a bit of input?
So I think you've explained a lot, really in detail. So my highlight will just be on the concept. That as they do this bubble diagram, they should not lose concept along the way. Yeah, so the concept means something, and I know this is where things go wrong or go well. Yeah, so they should strictly ensure that whatever concept they had, they have implemented in their design. So the bubble diagram should not make them lose their concept along the way.
All right, Meskia. Any questions, guys? Any questions, comments? I'm trying to get the brief. I seem to get, where did I save it? I think I see, yeah. So let me just share my screen. Let me just load something I want to load. Please, if you're not speaking, maybe just mute your yeah, start sharing, yeah, so that you see what it is that we need. This is what we are doing. We've done the brief, we've done the case study, we've done the site analysis, we've attempted at a concept which I want us to mark momentarily with Eric after this class, before the afternoon class. And now we are in the outline design. Between the outline design, which we anticipate now we'll be seeing, yeah? In the outline, you see, we're talking of bubble diagrams, functional relationship diagrams, a few sketches of how you anticipate your floor plan layout to be. So this is now the line work I'm talking about, yeah? These layout and sections and elevations, yeah? And a few perspectives of how you want each to look like, yeah? These are all very sketchy, okay? So I've not mentioned any scale. But now when we go next week, when we start scheme design and models, we are talking of scaled drawings, and you can see the scale that I'm talking about. All right. Detailed design, where we take one space and we detail it. And actually, I think, Eric, this should be scale 1:50. The space, maybe the site plan should be 1:200 because it's a large space. But the floor plans, I think, okay, we can just work with 1:100, yeah? Then the detailed design, we take it to 50 and 20 and 10. So you see we have sort of 3 weeks left. The next week we do scheme design, the other week we go to the detailed design, and finally we prepare for a final presentation week 7 and 8, based on the fact that if we're going to have external moderation or not. All right, guys? So go back to the brief I issued. I also shared the soft copy of it with Trey, and I'm sure he gave it to you guys. And plan your time accordingly. We just have the 3 weeks from, because we've already discussed the outline. So from next week, week 5, the other week 6, the remaining 2 weeks, week 7 and 8. But 8 will be dependent on whether we'll be presenting for external moderation or not. By external moderation, what I mean is that you are internally assessed by a team comprising the studio team, HOD, and the principal. And by external moderation, where we have an external tutor coming in to see the work, so that there is a bit of elimination of bias, should there be any. Okay. So you've seen what is at hand.
Yes.
Okay, so any other questions? Have you understood what you need to have by Monday?
Yes, our last question. From the grades that we are seeing now in the LMS and the ones that you've also given us for past sections of the project, once we make the amendments that you suggest, now the grades will now be remarked for final marking, the same way last semester it was done.
What?
Like, are the grades that we are getting at this particular juncture along with the recommended changes?
Yeah, they go to your final grade.
So they won't be, even if we make the changes, the grades will still be the same.
Of course, they may change. Nothing is set in stone in architecture other than the actual building, and that can also be demolished. What I mean is this, yeah? They have to be a base mark. So for those thinking that the fact that you did not present here, that you have a final attempt, no. I only mark something that had a past mark. What I mean is for instance, I just been scored 40 in a case study, but in the final marking, when the tutor sees that there is improvement, then they bump my grade to 70 or 80. But if there was no presentation mark there and it's a 0, then I don't look at that work, because I need to see progress. Yeah, it's the transition we look for. It's not the final product, because the transition will show whether this student has learned or not. A final product may be, I just been sit down, pay some guys in other classes or actual professionals do the work for me, then I present. No, it doesn't work like that. So yes, there is opportunity to improve on your grade, but the improvement is based on an actual initial mark or grade, which some of you still don't have. So I've reopened up till tomorrow. Make sure you have something and upload it and grade it. Wahoo and Beraka, resolve whatever happened so that we mark. Otherwise, right now, as it is, it looks like it's an indiscipline case. Remember, guys, examination is outside my control. Once I've graded on Canvas and Canvas has taken the report, then now it's in the examination officer's control. Okay? So if you have any issues, resolve them ASAP. Do you have any questions?
And who is the examination officer?
It's the HOD right now. He's the custodian. So Terence, have you resolved the issue? I had mentioned it to the HOD. Did you follow up?
Yeah, Alintumia email together with Miss Nemo, and and I'm going to school today, right now, to finish up, conclude on that story.
Finish up. You'll still have time to upload the work before 11 a.m. tomorrow.
For everything like we are doing for this project in the final presentation, will we be required? I'm not seeing if it's explicitly written in the brief to like develop the whole concept now, like to have sketches or rather hand drawn scale drawings along with like their CAD equivalent.
Me, actually, I'm not even a proponent of CAD, but I have to move with the time. So I will allow CAD, but CAD has to be informed by design. Remember, guys, when you design with your hand. You can't tell me you're designing with CAD. For documentation, it's okay. That's documentation. But design, yeah? Design, I need to see hand-drawn sketches. Okay? CAD is merely a pencil that now takes the handwork into computer-generated. It's called computer-aided design and drafting, yeah? But the actual emphasis is on drafting.
So for everyone, even the guys who have CAD, they still have to have like hand drawings.
For design, for documentation, that's okay.
Okay.
Documentation means site analysis, case study, brief analysis. That's okay. But for actual design from concepts to outline, I need to see hand-drawn sketches up till scheme. Then from scheme, you can now take it to CAD.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the end, the final presentation, I'll ask for everything you've done. So you compile them into sort of it's an e-booklet.
Okay.
Any other questions? Comments? Can we leave the class like that? Can we see more informed conceptual design dealing with the idea you came up with, how you developed it into form, how you also translated it into function, and how you took the function through the process of relationships, the spatial configuration, the bubble diagrams, and finally the outline design. We've understood that sub-process in the overall design process? Yes or no?
Yes-ish, but we'll also reference on the recordings if we get stuck.
All right, so you have a long weekend. Organize your time, yeah? It's all about organizing your time. Sawa.
Yeah.
Okay. If there aren't any other questions, I think we can end class then so that you can use even the remainder of the class, about 1.5, actually almost 2 hours left to start working. All right? Don't be afraid to sketch. Most of you are afraid to put pen to paper. I don't know why. A sketch should be messy, just like what I was trying to do with the Jamboard. It's not. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for the torment you go through when trying to develop an idea. It can only be
also you'll give us access, like the Jamboard is in your Google Drive, so
let me give access.
I have requested for access so I can share with everyone.
1 minute. No, given access. All right then. Okay, guys, let's get working. Okay. Eric, do you have any parting shot?
No, me, I'm okay.
Yeah, I think we can meet after this. We quickly mark do we mark the concepts right now, or do we? Do we mark the concepts as they are, guys? Or we allow for improvement?
Allow for improvement.
Eric, when can we mark the concepts?
Or something.
Sunday?
It's okay.
I think we can look at them on Sunday. So I extend the thing to, let me see.
Oh yeah, on the concept, just one last question. On the architects, this thing, Pinterest, like we've seen, okay, rather I have seen on some of the sketches some guys are doing on their concepts, they're a bit roughish, like they have a very detailed or a nice representation of the building, but also they add like notes, like a key on the materials and that kind of stuff on the same image. So should we do that, or should the concept be as detailed as you are showing us in regards to like the site, the same things you're telling us about site responses? Should the concept also factor in those, like showing how those site responses were linked to the concept?
Yeah, the more detailed it is, the better, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So for concepts, I've seen actually there's supposed to be 2 deliverables. Let's see. We have the outline design that has its deliverable. So I've created its own submission for the outline design, yeah? For the concepts, I don't know. Well, I think we'll mark them as they are. Or it's you really wanna try. I get a bit exhausted when we give you second trial, third trial, 15th trial.
I think from what you've explained, maybe you can mark, and then from the responses we can develop it, because even right now we might go and just do the wrong thing once again.
Yeah, just like feared.
Waiting.
All right, thanks. So as guys are gonna do it, we can talk of it being available from Eric. We mark, Cindy.
Yeah, we mark.
All right then, Sawa. So I've created 11. So I've created 7 publish. I've created the outline design submission due on Monday. And what is this? And now we can mark the concepts, and you can look at you can look at what is this? You can look at the comments and act on them. All right, even as you develop your outline design. That's okay?
Yes.
All right, then, I think we can call it a class. See you on Monday, yeah?
Okay.
Yes.
So nimerekodi stuff ndashare. Okay.